So as another bit of tech trivia, MK3 was the first console fighter I ever owned. I remember to this day my granddad buying me it at a car boot sale close to where we live. And in the manual, on the notes page, the previous owner had written "Unlock Smoke," a long ass code with some details on where to type it. And after too long of trial and error, Smoke became the second character I had ever played in Mortal Kombat. So with this guide we are going to take those near 3 decades of planetary destroying, stinky fingering vibe checks and show why it's now a fact that smoking kills.
Let me guess, you vape people to death?
But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, smokeport, the bell thingy, and follow us on the social medias for all your gaming needs. Now with that said, I am Tech and this is my guide to being the best smoke player you can possibly be. Probably. An orphan? I don't like where this is going. Smoke is the master of the 50-50 bullshit. Mixing the opponent up to lead into big damage. This damage is helped on by the unique-ish mechanic Amadub Smoky Cancels. What the hell was with the orphan remark? Now, not really a true mechanic, but certain moves can be cancelled at no extra cost, allowing Smoke to recover faster. The biggest and most important of these would be his back forward 3 special, Vicious Vapours. MK1's reimagining of his classic Fade Towards. Pretty fast startup and can bypass projectiles, but is death on block, as a lot of specials are. When enhanced it deals more damage, but none of that really is the important part. What is important is the ability to cancel Vicious Vapours by pressing away and block together mid-vape. When done, Smoke will flash white, and you can follow up with anything you want, specifically your key normals and throw. This is probably the most important skill to get down for Smoke, which is why it's the first thing you learn, as outside of kameos, it is your only gateway to get some real damage from your 50-50 options, which we'll talk about soon as we begin our normals. So, for key normals we start with the 1-1-4 string, No Escape. This high to low is a dial-up string, which yes, while all Netherrealm strings are technically dial-up, this one has to be committed to, past the initial 1-1, which I'll mention are both safe on block. Now all 3 of these ones are special cancelable, and while that last low hit is neither special cancelable or safe on block on paper, there is a bit of pushback that keeps the opponents from punishing you, unless they're Johnny. However, all is not what it seems. That initial 1-1 has an armorable gap, which, yeah, it's off a fast high, but if the opponent knows, it's their turn again. And spoilers, this isn't the last time I mentioned gaps. His forward 1-2 perfect pierce is a fast enough starting, special cancelable high to mid string that is safe on block with the initial hit and advantageous in the second, all at the cost of another armorable gap. Now perfect pierce has 2 ways to branch off. First, if we follow up with another 2-4, we get the dialer combo Missing the Toes, which is similar to No Escape, with the third hit being special cancelable and the last hit ending with a low, but this low is also special cancelable and just safe on block. Sounds great, right? Well, that pause finger just curled and you just earned yourself another armorable gap between the twos. Nice work, Smoke! You dick! Still, it's not a bad string, but the next string is your more go-to, and that is Cutting Room 4, by following up Perfect Pierced with a grab. Now this move is death on block, and to make things worse, can also be armored through. So yeah, we're not doing too well with these gaps so far, are we? But on hit, it becomes your go-to combo extender, as it will pop the opponent up and allow you to cancel into a special to either continue or end your combos. You can also hold the away button to forego the combo route and switch sides, which has its uses if you want to retake the corner, but there are other and better ways to do so, so yeah. Next up is the 2-1-2 string everywhere. An interesting string, as once again all is not as it seems. You see that side switching overhead will only come out on hit. This doesn't mean much as it's not the best ender in the world and you lose any mix-up potential if they are blocking, but the string is special cancelable throughout, and while the initial hit is susceptible to microducks as all highs are, both it and the final two are safe on block, making a great block string, right? No. Once again, we hit road bumps here. The initial 2 follow-up is unsafe on block, and there's another armorable gap between that and the final 2. Still, like I said, it's special cancelable and is a very decent extender of your vapor cancel, or it can be a punish tool with the right assist. Smoke damage off the away 2-3 is an advancing overhead to low that is special cancelable throughout. But that low is not only death on block. When they do block it, you literally cannot follow up on it outside of your ambush assist. The initial back 2 though is your patented MK overhead for the evening. Slow startup but safe on block, and as I just said, special cancelable. This is part of Smoke's 50-50 game. It's not the best at what it does, as one, that slow startup is easily interruptible, and up blocks will cripple all your hopes and dreams. But if you land it, you get a great vapor cancel window to go into big damage. Now if you thought we were done, oh, we ain't. You see, smoke damage can be followed up with a 4 to make violent tendencies, switching sides and sending the opponent a great distance. You don't get any block advantage as the low's block lock extends onto this move, so it can only be performed on hit, which, seeing as you knock them out of your ideal range, seems a little dumb. However, with the right cameo, we can make this a full combo, but hold on to that for the cameo section. Next up is smoke damage again, but this time off the standing 3-2. This is an initial 2-hit high into a mid jump cancelable launcher. Both are safe on block, with the initial 3 being special cancelable. This is your go-to for meterless damage. You use any of your main openers into a vapor cancel and then 2 of this smoke damage and finish with cutting room 4. Now the hardest bit about this combo is the timing. You see, you can get all the kicks and fluff to connect, but this increases the gravity, meaning your opponent falls faster, and if you don't time that initial forward one right, you're gonna whiff the throw part, giving your opponent an opening to punish. So the general consensus is that it's easier to time it so that the second stand-in 3 whiffs one of those kicks. Then no matter what, you will always get the full string off at the end. This does come at the cost of damage, but it's worth it so you don't get your ass handed to you. Soaring Assassin off the forward 3-2-4 is a low to overhead string that's plus on block, but it's really the forward 3-2 string Tricky Karambit that's the main focus here. Again, while there's gaps all the way through, both the forward 3 low and the 2 overhead are special cancelable and safe on block. The initial forward 3 is also your final piece to the 50-50 puzzle. You mix the opponent up with either your back to the throw or your forward 3 to get a good bit of damage off. What's more, you can also utilize that vapor cancel with either of Tricky Karambit's attacks to work in your favor. On block, you can vapor cancel the initial forward 3 to apply pressure. It's less about being advantageous because you're not. The moment you vape, you're interruptible, and if your opponent knows that, they're gonna get in. However, they have to sort of predict this, as the 2 follow-up will bust their attempt to interrupt, leading to full damage. It's very much like Rashid in Street Fighter 6. You cancel a move using the threat of another move to keep your turn. His penultimate key normal is Inhalation, off the down 3-4. Not for the safety, it isn't. Not for special cancellations, it ain't got them, but for the range and profile. The initial 3 has quite a poke on it, and then you can go further. Plus that low profile you maintain is great for slipping past Serena Blades. And lastly, his forward 4 face walk is a multi-hitting series of kicks that on hit will put some space between you and the opponents. On block though, it's really advantageous, but has a flawless blockable gap. Don't worry though, you're still super safe. No, the only way to stop this move is to duck it completely. Even if you block one hit, that's enough to jail you into the whole string. And to be honest, it's not that slow a startup. Sure, it's reactable, but a lot scarier than you would think. Or it would be, if you could do anything out of it. Yeah, this is it. Sure, some cameos can unleash the beast, but otherwise, nope. Slight knockback or high advantage to super block safety. Now it is special cancelable, but is also classed as technically airborne, and unfortunately only one of Smoke's specials is also air-based. So more on that later. Thank you for your patience, it's time for the jump in lightning round, and first up is his jump in 1, which is decent for both air-to-air and air-to-ground games. More though to the latter because of the arc, but it's smoked out the 1-2 follow-up that is our key string, as it's your most damaging ender. No matter what, if you end with this, the damage is strong and the recovery for the opponent is high, so it allows for some setups. Its only problem is it gets harder to hit the more gravity gets involved. Not something you should really need to worry about too much, but I'd get docked pay if I didn't mention it. Jump in 2 is also no slouch to the air-to-air and air-to-ground games, so it's very much a take your pick. Its 1 follow-up, Artillery Assault, is sort of your main aerial linker. Yes, it has another 1 to make the string cutter, but no, we all about the AA game. This is the best way to land your air-based specials in long combos, and is something you will want to learn. But we ain't done. I don't normally talk about jump in 3s and 4s, as they are universally the same for almost every character, but Smoke's jumping 3 has a string attached to it, airing out off the 4-4 follow-up. Really, it's nothing too special, but it's probably your best smoked out alternative. If the opponent's probably gonna drop too low for the final bomb to hit, you take the damage loss using this string, but at least you won't whiff and die. Now onto the specials. First up is Shadow Blade off the down back 1, which is pretty much MK1's take on his classic spear move. A now anti-air only projectile that when connects will slam the opponent to the floor before yanking them across said floor slightly. Not the best advantage, but when enhanced, Smoke will use his karambit to deal more punishment before pulling them directly to his feet, no matter how far, and since it can land practically full screen, that's some good range. Also, the advantage is a lot better, allowing more freedom to work with. Now down back 2 will grant you smokebomb, a reimagined version of the same move he's used in the past. However, unlike previous titles, this bomb acts like a teleport, having smoke come in overhead behind the opponent. Death on block, but that is because the enhanced version is Smoke's armor move, MK's equivalent to invincibility. However, that isn't all it does. You see, if the armor isn't broken, you forego your overhead attack and instead become completely invisible, masking your next move similar to Reptile. However, unlike Reptile, it is instantaneous, with enough recovery as you fall for a quick jump in. It's not foolproof as you can be hit out with the right timing, but again, it's part of Smoke's risk-reward play. You can also maintain your invisibility if you block, however it doesn't last all that long. Still, you are now near impossible to read, and with a good setup, you'll yield great results. Last but not least is smokeport, his classic teleport debuting all the way back in the arcades. This has Smoke teleport behind the opponent and knocking them into the air. When enhanced, Smoke will recover faster, allowing for aerial combos, and this move also can be done in the air, which means you have more options. This is what the forward 4 can cancel into, however you will only connect the port off the first 2 hits. That last kick that sends them flying will sort of cause you to whiff, which if you look at it in slow-mo, you do kinda get there, just not at an angle that will trigger the attack. But we ain't done. You see, you can also cancel both smoke ports by pressing the opposite direction after your smoke port inputs. In the air, this has you cancel behind the opponent, while on the ground, you cancel in front. And if you enhance the ground teleport, you can also make yourself invisible, allowing you openings through deception, which I feel fits Smoke to a T, as overall, Smoke is a deceptive blender. He has all the tools to mix the opponent for days. Overheads, lows, cancels, invisibility, that he should be deemed as one of the most OP characters out there. Except it's all smoke and mirrors. His most useful strings all have big gaps. They're all armorable and reactable, but it's his deception we have to utilize. Once again, we go to Rashid in Street Fighter 6. This man's mix-up offense is again based on cancels. You gain your advantage because they expect the move that they can't poke you out of. And Smoke is the same. The overhead of Tricky Karambit has to be armored or up blocked to beat it. They can't poke you out of it as you'll just counter them and begin your combo. So that is where they expect it as an option. So when you vapor cancel off your forward 3 if they are looking for the other move, you can steal your pressure back with a throw, or just keep yourself safe by blocking as it all flips around. When you vape cancel, they are able to poke you out of it, but you're always safe. So if you block accepting that it's not your turn, no harm, no foul, unless they're smart enough to throw. Also, they can't armor out of it because the vapor cancel isn't a gap. So if they buffer expecting the overhead, then it's a full punish. And that's just on the low option. Your away 2 overhead is the same and a great catch with your vapor so long as you know that you're giving away your turn in order to try and catch them out. His biggest weakness, however, is that armor move. It's too slow. In fact, if the opponent times well enough, they can blow you up for a full combo off some of the most dangerous strings. Even the more questionably slow armor moves at least trade, but most just never allow this, and when you're kinda on the lower end of offense with all the gaps and gimmicks, having literally no protection from some of the most oppressive characters frickin' sucks. And I don't even know how you fix it other than adding one extra hit. Because as of right now, there are just too many powerful strings that can just rip through this armor like rice paper. Now for cameos, we have a vast pool to look in, as there are a fair and solid amount of characters that give Smoke some must needed tools. First and foremost, to get it out the way, Cyrax. He is the cameo in your combo challenges, so there is some familiarity, and he is my go-to pick for the shang bangers looking in on this series due to the versatility. While the net and the bomb could do with a little bit of a rework, and the horizontal copter being nerfed to hell, he still opens routes up for Smoke, mainly with the normal copter. This can give you a combo of violent tendencies, which is not the best or even the strongest variation, but it works. and the piggybacking Shang mains will make up for that meterless damage with their buff. And again, to you Shang bangers out there who know the Morphocopter combo, this is just a simple matter of using Smoked Out to end the string for that full damage. Also, yeah, as part of the series now, we're going to also add Morphocopter enders for each character. Darius offers Smoke extra mix-up with his forward assist or neutral into forward assist, and can easily be set up off his teleport in any fashion. Just time the neutral in between the first and second hit and you're golden. Serena at one point would be deemed Smoke's best cameo, as she offers him a lot. Projectile options with simple easy damaging combos from her away assist, and cutting room 4 alongside her neutral assist will drain nearly half the opponent's meter, making it harder for them to break if they're nearly full. But these are the simple cameos you choose to find your smoky feet. The others will offer something a little more valuable: pressure. The least pressure will come from Jax, as ground pound, while unblockable, is easily trumped out by jumps or just crouch blocking. But that's what we can use it for. With either Shadow Blade or Smoke Bomb, we can set up a near impossible to defend ground pound, to which we can either jump and try for full damage, or just use the back 2, which counts as airborne, to catch them in the air and go from there. If they jump, they're caught, and if they crouch block, it's still our turn and they took a big chunk of damage. Also, Jax is probably the best combo option of both Violent Tendencies and your Smokeport. Backbreaker will give you more than enough time to go for CRF, and the Smokeport, similar to Darius, will earn a Backbreaker in which you can end how you see fit. Still though, he's the weakest pressure-wise. Now Striker and somewhat Goro can offer Smoke a lot of safety and setup. Striker with his nades, Goro with Raise the Roof can both set up his invisibility on block, and both have some form of extra mix-up options, be it Striker's neutral and up assists or Goro's away assist. Personally, I like Goro more, but Striker would be the go-to. Tremor, however, is gearing up to be the best pick for Smoke, in my opinion. Aftershock gives him some simple combo setup like Serena, while the full meter metallic up assist can set up a hefty Violent Tendencies combo. Hell, you can even set up crystalline armor with CRF. In fact, you can get a full Aftershock opener and finish with CRF, swap to crystalline and armor up, all ready to see what they wake up with. Then there's the hard to block pressure setup from EX Smokeport. Time the shift to metallic with the first hit of Smoked Out, and his away assist with the last hit, and for that full bar, you get a low boulder which you can then time to get that hard to block attack. But that costs all your meter, and I'm not one for spending big on just one string. That is why Sector is my go-to choice. That's right, the red condiment does everything Tremor does, only you have to alter timings. His rockets, either tracking or set trajectories, allow for your pressure off the same Smokeport Smoked Out combo we did with Tremor. Time the first hit with the neutral rocket and boom, they can't armor on wake up, and you get to apply the mix up off the pressure. It can also give a combo to Violent Tendencies. Again though, you need to have good timing. It's not guaranteed and you have to commit a down rocket. Still, Sector gives us near enough the same pressure, combo variety and safety Tremor and the other cameos can do, for a more affordable meter management. Now some final tips is to first get that cancel muscle memory down. It's your most valuable tool. Use it. You're practically shooting yourself in the foot otherwise. Same goes for getting your safety timing with the relevant cameos. Striker, Goro, Sector and Tremor are only good when you know where to time those assists. Remember, your most advantageous string is also easily ducked, so try not to be too predictable with it. In fact, I know I say this a lot, but don't be predictable, period. Mix things up. You are not a flowchart. Keep that in mind and you'll remind the opponent that where there is smoke, there is fire. And if you want to keep this channel on fire, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, smokeport the bell thingy, and follow us on the social medias. Also, you, me, we're all a community, so if you have any tips and tricks you found yourself, or just want to tell me who your favorite character is or who you want to see next, let us know in the comment section below. And finally, tune in next time where once again we will go with another random character. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and remember, it's in our blood.